Well, hello everyone, if there's anyone. Welcome to tonight's stream, where I'm going to focus on some new wave of British heavy metal deep cuts, I guess. As usual, I'm going to give it a minute or two, let the stream start to warm up. Give people a chance to say hello, get a beer. I've got a Scottish, a Wildcat. There actually is going to be some Tygers of Tang tonight, but this is unrelated, but not from the Wildcat period. Actually, hey Aaron, good to see you. I hope you're not, or anyone's not expecting anything too obscure tonight. I've never got down to that rabbit hole of trying to find the most obscure new wave of British heavy metal there is and find those gems. There are some killer channels out there. Aaron, Metal Theologian, being one of them, and also Alan over Let's Talk Metal. Absolute treasure trove even of new wave of British heavy metal to see. Most of the stuff I'm going to be just playing around with tonight and doing needle drops on is all kind of from fairly sort of mainstream labels, really, but they're tunes that I enjoy and I've been listening to recently, so I thought I would share them with you and hear your thoughts as well. I think I said hello to Jonathan already, but hello again. Mika, good to have you on board. Oh, good, everyone's turning up in a timely manner tonight, which is always good to see. I'll start the music going off in a minute once I've gone through these few messages here and got Rod, g'day. I know it's only 8 o'clock in the morning for you, but I hope you've got your beer as well in typical Aussie fashion, and you're going to join in the having a beverage as we go along, spinning some tunes. Hey Mike, that's your spreading the disease that's going to get packaged up over the weekend and sent out to you, mate. Metal Chipper, morning coffee, cool. I've had my morning coffee, but now it's night time. So I'm going to get started with probably one of the best known bands that I'm going to be playing tonight anyway. Bit of classic Angel Witch to kick things off. Going to go with a song, Gorgon. Bit of a slow starter, but then it kicks in, and it's a song that I like a lot. As usual, you'll have to let me know. I'm going to talk over it as I normally do. You have to let me know if you can hear me or if you can indeed hear the music at all once it kicks in. I think everything's set up my end. Hope everyone's had a good week. I started doing these streams on a Saturday, but Friday it's more of a kind of, it feels more of a rush to get things going, but I like the way it ends the week off. Here we go. Cheers everybody. As I said, nothing too obscure tonight, but hopefully some banging tunes. This being one of them. This is a UK pressing and bronze. This was a great find for me. I picked this up just when I didn't have it on vinyl originally back in the day, just on tape, but it was at the time when 80s metal was just starting to creep up in price and people were starting to take the piss in what they were asking. But on eBay, if you don't spell the name of the band correctly, this I found listed as Angle Witch, and I literally got it for half the price it would have done had it been listed as Angel Witch. So that was at the time when eBay had less of a fuzzy search option. It was a little bit more, it searched on what you typed in, not similar sounding words. Angel Witch 3-piece. Roger, good evening. Got the right night this week. Great to have you on board. Other than this one, the other 18 sounds for Angel Witch I never really got to grips with that much. Although I do like one of the more recent ones, Angel of Light. I thought that was a banging release a few days ago. A couple of years ago now. Because someone spells it correctly. Oh wow. Oh yeah, I can see that. Hey Jason, yeah, I thought I'd start off with a bit of a banger. Keep it nice and familiar for people, and then I'll see what else we can come up with. Wow, Carcass, that's an eclectic mix of styles together in the same band. So in all tonight, I've got about, I think it works out at about 52 minutes of music, so that'll make the stream about hour and 15 minutes maybe, when I blather on and changing records and stuff in between. Halfway through, got a little bit of a commercial break as well, but I'll get to that at the time. There we go, it kicks off. Did you know, bit trivia, that Angel Witch were in the Guinness Book of Records for being the least successful chart act of all time? The way the UK charts used to work was only worked off major label releases, and it was the top 75, and Angel Witch were the first band to actually debut in at the charts at number 75, but that's where they peaked, and the following week they went down, so they weren't considered on the chart before, and that's why they basically entered the Guinness Book of Records as the least successful charting act. And apparently it tainted them a little bit because people considered them to be a bit shit as a result, even though they actually charted, whereas most heavy metal bands never got anywhere near the charts in their lifetime. So just shows how much the charts suck, to be honest with you, doesn't it? Oh, that hurts. You will never ever see or hear a Def Leppard album on my channel. They are the one band that I just Joe Elliott's vocals just like nails down a chalkboard for me. Can't stand them at all. Okay, but let's move on. I love to talk about how much I dislike them, but I'd rather not talk about them at all. I'm going to show some Vardis next. So what I kind of wanted to showcase a little bit in the bands I've chosen tonight is, I've said new wave of British heavy metal, and all of these bands are, if you look them up in things like Malky Macmillan's New Wave of British Heavy Metal Encyclopedia, fantastic book, brilliant. They all come under the banner of New Wave of British Heavy Metal, but quite often I think that people have an idea of the sound of New Wave of British Heavy Metal. But all these bands, some are similar, but some sound quite different. And Vardis, they fall under they're more boogie rock, really. They're not that classic New Wave of British Heavy Metal sound, but I like them. This is the Too Many People 7-inch, which came with a free single as well. I'm going to play the song, well, Too Many People. I'm going to remember to put it onto 45 RPM so it doesn't sound like the doom metal version. Let's get cracking. Okay. But you see what I mean about the more sort of boogie rock. Let me hear it. This is from 1980. T-shirt, anyone? 65 pence for a embroidered patch. 30 pence for a badge. Yeah, 3 singles got Blue Rock and Dirty Money on the flip. Hey Jeff, good to see you, man. Yeah, it's a tragic but funny story, and it is a killer book. It's well thumbed. Boogie days, yeah. New wave of boogie heavy metal. They get a lot more boogie than this. First album is pretty much a live album. The second album is pretty weak, I have to say. They didn't really float my boat too much. I have those first 2 albums though. I kind of lost I think it's they're originally called Quo Vardis, but that's Quo Vardis doesn't have an R on it, does it? So I don't know if they just couldn't spell or what they were doing. But no, some of the members of the band. Got the Steve Zodiac, which is a very un-English name, is the main guy behind the band, vocalist and guitarist, and Alan Salway and Gary Pearson, that just came straight from five-a-side training for the band photo. Well, I like the song. Cool. Greetings and salutations, Johnny Mac. Just on the second song, we missed a Gorgon by Angel Witch, but I'm sure you know that one. There we go. So that was Too Many People by Vardis, this double single release from 1980. Cool, nice and upbeat. So put that away carefully. Got another single that I'm going to put on next. Another probably very well-known band. But one I've kind of got a love-hate relationship, and that's with the Tygers of Tang. I absolutely love Wildcat, and it's pretty much the only Tygers album that I listen to. But this single is actually from kind of the Spellbound era, which is their second album. It was released soon after, but with John Deverell on vocals. They kicked Jess Cox out by then, which I thought was a tragedy, because I absolutely love Jess Cox's raw, sort of throaty, rough vocals. But this single, Hellbound, was released to introduce John Deverell to the band, and the free single. So it's another double 7-inch single. It contains the audition tapes, which had a couple of tracks from John Deverell's auditions. Obviously, I think this is when John Sykes had also joined the band as well. Song I'm going to play is Don't Give a Damn, which is the B-side of Hellbound. Yeah, Silver Machine was on their second album, whose name just totally escapes me. The World's Insane. That's it. That's a real hit in this album. Yeah, Wildcat hit the spot with me, and I've just got, it's just one of those ones where I know it's not a brilliant album, but I love it, and I always, every time I finish playing Wildcat, I have to play Night of the Demon straight after, because I got the two albums pretty much really close together. Not in 1980, obviously, I wasn't. I was blissfully unaware of New Wave British heavy metal in 1980, but Wildcat and Night of the Demon are just, they're just Siamese twins for me. Yeah, I think my opinion of Tygers is they literally went downhill every album. It's because Spellbound came out, which was good, a little bit more of a commercial approach to them, better vocals, I guess. He's a better singer than Jess Cox, but I just prefer Jess Cox. Then Crazy Nights, wasn't it? That was released in the same year, and the record company had forced them to release it, so that's not fantastic. And then The Cage is terrible, and then The Wreckage after that is not good either. And I have them all. It's one of those bands where I've got the stuff, but The Cage and Wreckage, not good at all. I love Potion of the Mind. What an awful song, awful cover, in my opinion. Each their own, John. You are wrong, but each their own. I try. Not all kinds of metal though. Yeah. I saw them years ago. I saw them on the. They released an album recently called, is it The Ritual? What's that called, collection? Yeah, The Ritual in 2019, and they played in Edinburgh. And I saw them on the album launch party. That was their gig where they'd released the album that day. So yeah, they're good lifestyle. Their current singer is brilliant. He does all the old stuff really well and the new stuff as well. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So, Jeff, with this, I don't get hit by copyright strikes. I did. One of the first streams I did, then fairly new to streaming and needle dropping and getting the whole setup working. I did a UK thrash stream, and one of the songs on there is a song by Eradicator, a UK band, and it blocked the whole video. And that kind of pissed me off a bit. So what I do now is I decide on what I'm going to play up front. I put together a playlist as an MP3, upload it to YouTube as a unlisted video, and then they tell me whether it's acceptable. So this video will get marked as copyright, but I won't get any strikes on it because I've checked all the songs are fine. It just means that if I did monetize my channel, I wouldn't make any money from the video, but that's fine by me. Yeah, so here we go. So this isn't going to get blocked, but it will get at least 5 or 6 songs on here recognised and said they have copyright, but you're free to play them. You just can't make money. Cool. So that was I forgot the name of the song. I really don't play the Devil era that much, but I just thought I'd give it a go. Don't Give a Damn, the B-side of Hellbound. This is the audition tapes free single that came with it. I'm sure it was all included in the price. But, very cool. Okay. Yeah, see those messages about the copyright stuff. You've just kind of got it. You can check beforehand, but there's no guarantees. You could get something that is absolutely fine now, but in 6 months, a year's time, someone could put in a register it as copyright, and then you could get dinged further down the line. So it's a complete minefield. Cool. Right. Next up, I'm going to go with some Chateaux. I don't have the first album, but I do like this album a lot. This is Firepower from 1984. Okay, I'm saying new wave British heavy metal now. So 1984, it's questionable about whether it's new wave British heavy metal, but this band is definitely in that bracket. I'm fairly loose in my when it comes to my reasoning behind choosing albums for this. This is on Ebony, and the song I'm going to play is my favourite of the album, which is White Steel. Here we go. Might get a little bit at the end of the first song. That's not too bad. So yeah, the first album I don't have. I would like to get, but what I didn't actually realise until very recently was Steve Grimmett was the vocalist on the first album. I had no idea, and even though he sings on most of it, this is cool. I love this. Even though Steve Grimmett sings on that first album, most of it, he's credited as a guest vocalist. But they'd reverted to this lineup for their second album. In fact, I think they had a number of lineup changes. So it's almost like a debut album again, but their second album. This is a great song though. Yes, that's right. Oh, very cool. I like their first... I'm trying to think how many albums they've got now. They've got 3 or 4 albums in total. If we're talking about the same, I'm assuming we're talking about the same Radica UK thrash metal. Yeah, 3 albums. The first 2 albums, Dystopia, and it was a song off Dystopia that got dinged by CD Baby. Edge of Humanity is a great album, but Obscura, their 2019 release, I could not get to grips with. What kind of mouths? What is, I don't know what mouth means. Yes, no, I presume we're back to Chateaux now. Yes, let's talk about the music. Yeah, I like Highly Strung as well, although that was I think their death nail. It didn't do well commercially. But then a lot of these albums probably didn't, and I was introduced to them many years later. And it's kind of I like it because it doesn't matter to me that it was all samey, and there was probably a dearth of albums that were all vying for the 1 or 2 spots on some of the labels. It's all great stuff now. You everybody? It's a spacey cover though. I fancy a UK band calling themselves Chateaux. Not sure who drew the cover. It does look a little bit like a Rodney Matthews style, apart from the sci-fi guy with the guitar in the middle. Yeah, I do want to grab a copy. I've never seen one in the wild, to be honest with you. And this one definitely gets very kind of overindulgent at the end. Cool. I also think the singer on this, he sounds he sounds less British and more American influence as well than like he is. There we go. That was White Steel by Chateaux. Again, doing the really uncomfortable thing about re-sleeving records while on camera. Never used to do that when I did normal videos, but now it's just too many to put away otherwise. There we go. Chateaux, great album if you can find it. It's not particularly expensive either. Firepower, 1984, definitely on the bleeding edge of new wave of British heavy metal. Another band, well, this one was right at the cutting edge of new wave of British heavy metal, I guess, and probably, I think they've probably got more of a cult status than the fact that they're a fantastic band. I do like them. I've got all their 80s releases, but they can be a little bit hit and miss. But this is the debut from Witchfynde, Give 'Em Hell. Definitely one of those albums where the music, the cover doesn't necessarily reflect the music that's on here. But I'm going to play the title track, Give 'Em Hell, first track on side 2. That's a label you wouldn't seem out of place on a Slayer album. And bearing in mind this is 1980, this is kind of almost wimpy satanic rock. It's almost like black metal. It's not black metal, and I always say Venom isn't black metal either, but the lyrical content, I think, inspired a lot of black metal bands to show that you could just go along and it's cool to sing about Satan. So this is Give 'Em Hell by Witchfynde, 1980. Album I found really recently, actually. Was delighted to find. I think I may prefer some of their. I'm more familiar with some of their later 80s albums. And they're from Nottinghamshire, which is my old stamping ground from the early 2000s. Yeah, very much so. Was it singular for punk and plural for metal? I think that was what you were saying, Aaron. Slightly funky looking goat though. Rondelle Records. This one I did find out in a while, and it was one of the most expensive second-hand records I've ever bought, but it would still probably shock many of you by how cheap it is, because I don't spend a tight ass when it comes to buying records. Always look out for that deal. Good to see you, no baloney. Yeah, you wouldn't want to meet that goat lord on a dark and stormy night. Yeah, that's very true. And I've bought many an album based on the cover. It's one of the high priorities we've got blind buys, make sure the cover looks metal. Cheers, buddy. Appreciate that. I'm kind of having fun. I'm much preferring just coming on here and spinning records and doing the I guess the traditional vinyl community type videos. I'm kind of got a bit doing it for eight or so years. I just what a great side debate is going on. Lords of Sin was the first one I bought as well. So I think I got Stage Fright after that. Then what, Cloak and Dagger, and this one was last because it was the hardest to find. There we go. That was Give 'Em Hell by Witchfynde, not to be confused with Witchfynde General, of course, which I believe they probably were to some degree. Good old 1980s new wave of British heavy metal. Great stuff. Okay. We are steaming along. Some Battleaxe next to take us to the halfway point. And Burn This Town, probably more famous for the cover of the record, which was the concept art that was submitted to the label, who went and just printed it anyway. So they obviously thought it was cool, or a cheaper option. I do love the cover though, and I love the back as well. I think the back is just the DIY element of it. The live pictures, which you can't actually see what any of the band members actually look like because of the smoke and the hair in their faces, and they're obviously very, very shy young men and didn't want to be shown. But gonna play Overdrive, the last song off track one, side one. Music for Nations, generally the gateway to a lot of American bands in the UK, being licensed on Music for Nations over here. I think Battleaxe were the first UK band that signed to Music for Nations, so they wanted to put out some British talent as well. And I'm pretty sure Battleaxe were the first band that got on the roster. Oh, look at that. Hit the spot first time. This is an awesome track. Overdrive by Battleaxe. Yeah, I ventured into the editing thing many years ago, and found that I couldn't be asked, basically, at the end of the day. Or I get into that that thing where I fuck up in the first few minutes and then stop and reshoot it. But then if I got more than 5 minutes in, I couldn't be asked to do that either. So here, warts and all, it's all cool. You should try it. It's liberating. Yeah, I was. This is one I picked up much more recently. So this came out originally in 1983. It's a great album, start to finish. There's little or no variation throughout it. You know, you can. Every song's a similar pace. There's no ebbs and flows. It's Battleaxe all the way through, and everything is it's kind of crystal clear on here. I'm no audiophile, and I don't tend to sort of talk about all the drums sound good on this or the bass sounds great on this. I like the whole thing. If the whole thing sounds good, I'm happy. If the whole thing sounds shit, it's shit. But on here, if you really listen, you can hear everything that's going on, and That's really cool. Nice. Oh, mine is, I think it's eight years last November. In fact, when it came to that, I did a video about, I was like, oh, it's 8 years now. I'm going to do this celebratory thing where I'm going to make 4 videos, and this is the videos. And I was getting really, honestly, I was getting some really nice comments, and people were saying, yes, this is great, but rather ironically, people genuinely being nice were saying, oh, great, here's to another 8 years. And I actually thought, oh my God, do I really want to be doing the same stuff for another 8 years? And that kind of set me on the road to, I just want to do something different. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do the same updates and threads and everything. And some things I'll jump on, and there are certain mates and things I'll jump on their contests and things as well to support them. But yeah, 8 years, and it kind of, yeah, I realised that it's just want to do something a little bit different. So what do we think of Battleaxe? Yeah, that's a great album. It's so much better than the cover looks, definitely. Yeah, is it 10 years for you, Aaron? I think I saw in your recent video. Which is actually another thing. I tend to watch a lot more videos now, just off the fly on my phone, and don't really get around to commenting too much these days, which is poor show, all supporting people and stuff. But I am out there still watching. All right, mate. Good to see you. Thanks for joining in. You'd go out and buy anything, John. Let's face it. Come on. Yeah, now that's quite some milestone. That's like that's surely a midlife crisis VC style. Got to be. Yeah, so that was Overdrive off the debut. Try to sound like a DJ. That was Overdrive off the debut Battleaxe album "Burn This Town" from 1983. Cool album. I like it. It's nothing amazing, but it's one of those ones I stick on and I always enjoy it. Power of the Universe is their second album, which is also pretty good, but a little bit more melodic and polished. And sometimes polish doesn't make things better. Okay, so that's I think I'm halfway through. I think there's about 12 tunes in total I was playing. Halfway through in terms of number, probably not in time because there's a few longer ones coming up. But I did just want to do a quick commercial break. And I did mention I was going to do try and support a few of my friends' channels out there. And if you don't know Sean the Beast, Sean has started up a channel very recently. He's into a lot more of the extreme stuff, but he's also a traditional metalhead at heart. And I've had the pleasure of meeting up with him a couple of times to go to a few gigs and a festival. And he's a thoroughly nice chap. He's just reached 200 subs, super quick. It took me a lot longer to reach 200 subs myself. But he's doing a quick contest. This isn't a contest entry because it's just my live stream video. But he wanted people to show 2 albums with the word 2 TWO in it. So just as examples, I'm going to go with Magnum on a Storyteller's Night. We've got this song. You're not going to be able to see it because it's the worst back printing ever. Yellow on grey. That's not even the glare that means you can't read it. I'm right in front of it and I can barely read it. Absolutely shocking choice of layout and design. But on side 2 of Magnum on a Storyteller's Night, probably my favourite album by them. I know Jeff, a big fan as well. They've got the song 2 Hearts, TWO 2 Hearts. And what's between 2 hearts? Well, Dio is between Between Two Hearts. So there we go, 2 songs with the word TWO to support my mate Sean the Beast. When this goes onto the video on demand mode, I'll put a link to his channel below. I know a few people have jumped on that that contest already, but I just kind of want to show my support for him. But it's not a contest entry for him. That's kind of cheating by just chucking in a quick 30 seconds interval. All right, okay. This one I'm going to do on CD because I don't own the original. And actually, Aaron, on a recent, I think one of your most recent videos, you were talking about Rock Goddess, and you showed Hell Hath No Fury. Now, that was actually, I've always enjoyed that album. I know it's not great. It's okay. I always enjoyed it. But I only very recently heard their debut album. This is their debut album. They both came out in '83, I think, originally. This is a, 2009 reissue. But I really like this album. Maybe just because it's brand new. It's a lot more... it's a bit heavier, it's less melodic, a bit rougher. But Rock Goddess, 3-piece, they're a heavy metal band, definitely, and they've got the new wave of British heavy metal era about them. I'm just going to check on this CD, a couple of adjustments, otherwise I'm going to blast you with noise if I don't get the level right. It's track 7, and this one's called, I think, Satisfied Then Crucified. I think this is a banger. Here we go. Yeah, now I want this one on vinyl because I'm liking it more than the first. One thing I read about Rock Goddess is the drummer was actually, I mean, people talk about Death Angel being teenagers when they released their first album. The drummer, Julie Turner, there's 2 sisters in here, there's Jodie Turner and Julie Turner. She was 9 years old when the band first formed, and for the first few years she couldn't play live because she wasn't old enough to go into clubs and things. It wasn't until she was 14 that the band really started to take off because she could go into clubs and play and also get paid for it, being 14 years old. So it's completely crazy. Always get compared with Girls' School because they were the 2 British female bands at the time, but I think there's elements of Rock Goddess that are better because Rock Goddess are more of a heavy metal band, and the Girls' School were more of that Motorhead inspired rock and roll. Yeah, I'm back a fan again. So that second album, Hell Hath No Fury, it was okay, and I was kind of happy with it, but this was definitely a better album. Actually, that there is Tracy Lamb, who has been in Girls' School also about 4 times, I think. Seen Girls' School live a number of times over the last few years, and Tracy Lamb's always been in there. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this is easily my favourite track off the album. It's kind of got that attitude, a snarl to the vocals, which they kind of, I think, polished out a little bit on the second album. Nope, never heard the third one. Only heard those first 2. All right, Mark. There we go. Satisfied and Crucified by Rock Goddess. So this is the 2009 Renaissance Records reissue. I like it, yeah. New to that one, and very happy to have it. Okay, let's make sure I just switch over my channels back so we can get back to the vinyl. It's all 12-inch vinyl from now on. I've lost the ability to speak, but right. Another band this time is again, they come under the moniker of New Wave of British Heavy Metal, but one or two of the tracks, they have that sound. This is Saracen and Heroes, Saints and Fools, but don't really be fooled by the song I'm going to play. This is the longest song I'm going to play of the night. It's called Ready to Fly, and it's 8 minutes 20 seconds on the song. This song is the one I enjoy the most, and it rocks, but there's a slight proggy element to this. It's almost like a prog New Wave of British Heavy Metal, if such a thing were to exist. But I absolutely love this song. This was a bit of a good find for me as well. It's one that I was always looking out for, but they have a very 70s look to them as well, especially the organ or keyboard player at the end. This came out in 1981. These guys are from East Midlands in Derbyshire, but as I say, it's don't expect the rest of the album, if you hear it after this, to sound like this track I'm going to play you. It's got a few bizarre... Dolphin Ride. It might be worth checking out Dolphin Ride, because that is bizarre. That is bizarre. There we go. Nucleus. This was their own label, I believe, so it's just like a self-released. But I'm going to play Ready to Fly, because I absolutely love this song. If I can find the start of it. Go back there. That's the end of Dolphin Ride, which is very trippy. Yeah, definitely a little bit proggy, but they come under the New Wave of British Heavy Metal moniker. I'm surprised I did, to be honest with you. I'm really surprised I did, but after I played this a couple of times, I absolutely love this album. There won't be any... I don't know Stampede, have to say, but Chevy, actually, I have the album The Taker, but I didn't realise I had it. I didn't catalogue it when I bought it. It went on the shelf, and I found it like last week, and it was like I'd getting a new record. Don't remember buying it. Ready to Fly. That's me. I think this has got a certain epicness to it. It's one of those ones where you're doing a fist raise, as you see in the choruses. Oh, it's great. Turning out for myself. So this is a periphery New Wave of British Heavy Metal band at best. Saracen, Heroes, Saints and Fools. Bit of a bizarre album, but love it. They're definitely, I think, one of those bands that just because they were releasing music It was a bit rocky in the early 80s that they got lumped in, definitely. They probably had no intention of trying to jump on the bandwagon. Yeah, there's a lot of sort of 70s twinges, influences. I love that vocal bit as well. But the so this song's over 8 minutes, which is kind of unusual for what you call a new wave of British heavy metal song anyway. The thing with a lot of these 80s albums is there's not much cool stuff to show in terms of inner sleeves or whatever. They're all plain white inners. Good morning, sir. Welcome aboard. I've got my evening coffee. Yeah, it pretty much does, doesn't it? It's this is one I didn't really know, but I'd heard about quite a lot and was really intrigued by it. And so when I heard the even that dolphin ride, check out Dolphin, so trippy, but it fits. It fits, and it's one of those weird albums that just, for me, it clicks, it works, and I love it. My work here is done. It's always cool when someone says they pick holes that they didn't know before. That's mostly what I've got out of doing, watching videos and things on YouTube, is the amount of things I've picked up on other people's recommendations that I just had no clue about. I've heard of Silverwing, I'm not overly familiar with them. This song just is awesome. And there's still some ways to go as well. Good man, get it on your wish list. Tell you what, Barry, that's a great picture. Even now, he's completely goes off on one of his screams at the end. Oh, he's not done yet. I forget how long the crescendo ending goes for. There we go. There we go. There's a bit of the very cool nucleus label. Yeah, for those that are recently joining or saying that, so a lot of these bands they all get lumped in. They're all in the books around new wave of British heavy metal, but they don't all necessarily have that classic new wave of British heavy metal sound. So I was trying to mix things up a little bit, but we are going to a bit more of a traditional heavy metal sound now, and we're moving up to Scotland, my current country of residence, and the first release and the only thing I actually have by this band, Holocaust. Heavy Metal Mania was their first single. It was on 7-inch and 12-inch. The track I'm actually going to play is Love's Power, because I think that's the best track off here. Heavy Metal Mania is actually going to come up in a future stream. I think I've got an idea around a theme for that one, and that's more appropriate. But Love's Power, 12-inch single, let's say their first release. I think they had a couple of albums out, a live album, Hot Wine and Curry, I think it was called, and I came across, in fact the day I bought this one at the record store in Edinburgh, they had the debut album, whose name escapes me. Is it Night Prowler or something? Somebody let me know in the comments. And the guy was like, oh, I've got the debut album up there, and it was about £40, and I was like, a bit rich for me. And then he kind of offered it for me for about 35, and I was like, no, I'll just take the 12-inch. And I kind of kick myself every time I pull this record out and think about that. But I should have just grabbed it, because I'm never going to see it again for that sort of price, and it was in okay condition. It was a little beat up, but this is 45 RPM. Let's not play the doom metal version. And this is Love's Power by Holocaust, some Scottish metal. I think these guys are great. I would love to find that first album. I know there was a High Roller Records reissue recently, which I've not been able to get my hands on. Recently, been in about the last probably 10 years. But I think these guys suffered because they were in Scotland. They weren't in the main part of the scene, so they gigged a lot apparently. When bands came up to Scotland, they were the obvious support band, but they didn't necessarily go on the road too much themselves, from what I can read. Stay tuned, Jason. We may well have some Hellenbach coming up shortly, if only to show that there are some bands that definitely do not sound like classic new wave British heavy metal. Yeah, I didn't find it for 50 cents. It cost me. Cost me £13 for 3 songs, and that was with my tight purse strings, even that was probably a bit of a pushing the boat out for me, but it was only a few years ago. So. Got to grab them when I'll pay for, by the way, I know how much I pay for everything. I completely anally document the shit out of everything I buy. So literally everything I've bought in the last 10 or 15 years, I've got where I bought it, how much I bought for, condition it was in, all that stuff. Yeah, 15 quid I paid for that Saracen in 2021. So if it's gone up to 50 quid now, it's not too bad an investment. I'm going to have to look that up. I have no idea where Port Knocky is. So it's only a small country, but I'm an alien here. Not an illegal alien, but this This 3-track EP has recently been reissued as like a 6 CD set or something. God knows how they managed to expand out. I'm sure it's full of live stuff. I did have a quick look before. I would definitely be interested in grabbing that, but it's not pricey because it's brand new. I think it only came out in the last few months or so. Heavy Metal Mania, same cover, has been reissued as just a box set. It's crazy. There we have it. That was Love's Power by Holocaust. Would love to, yeah. I'm resigned to probably getting reissues of their albums, but I like them enough to grab their stuff on vinyl. But CDs are an option as well, definitely. That was it's tiny closer. Yeah, I'm kind of, even though Scotland's really small, Aberdeen's like not the easiest place to get to from where I am. It's still quite a few hours drive. No straight roads, and lots of sheep on the roads as well. Heavy Metal Mania, Holocaust, and the song was Love's Power, and that was released in 1980. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so Jason, you mentioned Hellenbach there. I thought that would be a cool one to pull out because, again, a band very much labelled as new wave of British heavy metal, but probably the most American sounding new wave of British heavy metal band ever. On Neat Records. They're classified as like the English Van Halen, and you can definitely tell that the influences are there. I'm going to stick on All Systems Go. That's a cool song, but this is to say the most un-new wave of British heavy metal band you'll ever hear. What song are we? 1, 2, 4. See if I can count. So you're going to get the end of that's the end of Look at Me, and then we'll get into All Systems Go, Hellenbach. By cover, I don't suppose you mean that. I suppose you mean Everybody Wants to Be a Cat. Oh, I can't stand that. I'm not a fan of a big fan of covers anyway. So there we go. Private joke there, Johnny. Yeah, I have. I've got this one and the second album, the one with the camouflage cover. That is called, well, I cannot remember for the life of me. It is called now The Big H. This is Now Hear This. This was released in 1983, but definitely not your conventional. When you think of new wave of British heavy metal, you don't think of this sound at all. Oh yeah, that's right. It's continuity is everything, and I have none of it. Yes, The Big H. I've not heard The Big H in a long time. It was only when I was thinking about the playlist for this that I actually pulled this out again. First time in a long time. I enjoyed it, but I don't love it. But I like the song. doesn't sound like an English band at all. Is the anthology those first 2 albums, or did they have more? I don't know what they did beyond the Big H. If I'm honest. Another long crescendo of an ending. So this is Hellenbach. Now Hear This. 1983 on Neat Records. That very familiar Neat thumbs up. Can't quite see. It's got a very, very faint thumbs up logo right in the middle. Probably just about make it out if I take the light off it. But yeah, that's again just to illustrate the fact that new wave of British heavy metal was, I guess it's more of an era, or anybody that released anything in that era was kind of lumped into it as well. And it's not, certainly when if I try and describe new wave of British heavy metal to somebody, I wouldn't choose Hellenbach, but you know, you look in the books, you look in the text, you look for lists of new wave British heavy metal bands, and you will find Hellenbach in there. Actually, talking of books, this is okay. This is a lighter read than Malky. This is Popoff's 900 Headbanger's Guide to 900 new wave British heavy metal records. Get a nice little write up of any number of releases. Not quite as comprehensive. In fact, these are all people that have had releases, whereas Malky's book covers bands that literally just played a gig in a bedroom and never went on to anything else. But Popoff is a little bit more mainstream. There's a few obscure ones in there, but they're the obscure ones that kind of everybody knows, if that makes sense. So yeah, thanks, John. So that was the Hellenbach anthology that you picked up. Cool. Okay, if that's got everything, then I don't need that. I'm happy with the albums that I've got. What else do we have? Nope, not heard of Ruthless. What style of metal do they play? I'll have to make a note of that one. Cool. We're down to the last 2. This seems to have flown by, but it's about the similar sort of length that I normally do. Now, I can't possibly have any sort of new wave of British heavy metal without some Iron Maiden. Everybody knows Iron Maiden. You've heard all the songs. I wanted to play something a little bit different, so I thought I would tease, and I would flirt with the copyright police and play some Maiden, but from the Soundhouse tapes. Now I've not got the Soundhouse tapes. That is probably every Maiden fan's grail. I know I will never have it, but what I do have is this kind of, I guess, like a bootleg reissue that came out in a couple of years ago now, maybe even last year. Soundhouse tapes EP and more rare early tracks. This is a great compilation. You've got the recordings that were the Soundhouse tapes, which is really cool because they were only a 4-piece band at the time, and they had, Paul Diano on vocals, Steve Harris on bass, Dave Murray on guitars, and Tony Parsons on drums. So just a 4-piece. So I'm going to play Prowler. It's obviously off the first Iron Maiden album, and it sounds different enough to be an interesting listen, even if you're you kind of think that some of those albums are overplayed. And it's different enough that even the YouTube algorithm, when I was testing to see whether I could play that and I'll get dinged for copyright, it didn't flag the song. What it flagged was, it said that this portion of the video that I'd uploaded to test contained samples from the song Prowler from the 1988 remaster, or 1998 remaster. So not even YouTube recognises it as the original song. It thinks I'm playing samples from a remaster reissue from years later. But this is the album. So bootleg release. I'll tell you what else is on here when we're playing Prowler. Only a short song, but we should be able to get through it. But this is the closest I'll probably ever get to a Soundhouse Tapes, and I'm kind of happy with that. So Prowler, track 3. Assuming I've got the right side on. But you'll recognise the song, but it's slower. It's slower than the album. So on here, the Soundhouse Tapes on here, there's an additional song that was recorded, I think, at the same time as the Soundhouse Tapes, Strange World, which was on the Best of the Beast LP box set. There's Friday Rock Show sessions, so people from the UK will know the Tommy Vance Friday Rock Show, so the Friday Rock Show sessions are on here. And then the compilation versions that they did for like the Axe Attack compilation and Metal for Mothers as well, which are not the album versions that made it into those compilations. I've got those compilations, but it's nice to have them all in one place, just on a Maiden. Is that Tony Parsons or was that Doug Sampson? I don't know. But yeah, this is made as a 4-piece. What, 6-piece now? I haven't read that one. I will certainly look that one up. Yeah, Metal for Mothers has I can't remember what tracks it has now, doesn't it? Does it have Iron Maiden and tracks 2 and 3 inside it. Wrathchild and Sanctuary, isn't it? Yeah. I love Wrathchild, it's one of my favourite Maiden songs. This sounds weird. It sounds like they haven't quite perfected it. No, they haven't quite perfected it yet anyway. I'm so familiar with the album version, but this is a nice variation. Does anybody in the stream own or has ever touched a real Soundhouse Tapes single? I've never even seen one in real life, and I know there are a lot of bootlegs out there, and a lot of people basically get ripped off because they think they're getting original and they don't. So that kind of scares me off as well if I ever came across one. But not that I'd ever be able to justify the cost, but it would be such a cool thing to have. I think this version's even the best part of them, like a 40-50 seconds shorter than the album version. Just sounds so rough and ready. Wow, yeah, that's That's impressive. Although I guess he's probably more obsessive in the collection than I am, and I'm not actively looking, to be honest with you. I would probably be more pissed off if I found one and not been able to buy it than being blissfully ignorant about never having seen one. Yeah, so I like that. I think this is on Vern, and it's a really well put together, totally unofficial release, but it's kind of one of those gems. I mean, once you've collected all the Iron Maiden stuff, and then you kind of stop looking around because you're kind of obsessed with buying Iron Maiden stuff. It was a really nice find when I saw that they'd released this. You can get to hear those recordings, and say lots of other compilation releases that they did as well. That I have most of them on albums, but to hear them all together is really nice as well. Okay, so I've got one more, and then I'm going to call it a day. The 70s band Iron Maiden, that was the 70s band Iron Maiden, was it? Because that was like recorded in 78, or was there another band? Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Real Iron Maiden. I have not heard of real Iron Maiden. I would pay more than £13 for it. 15 maybe. But it will probably be about 150, no doubt. Okay, so I'm going to play out with, actually, mentioned Metal for Mothers, but I'm going to play a song from Metal for Mothers Volume 2, Cut Loud. Only $3.99 back in 1980. Metal for Mothers was synonymous with like launching bands like things like Iron Maiden and Angel Witch and Ethel the Frog, but Metal for Mothers 2 has some a lot of bands actually that didn't release, or some bands that didn't release any albums at all, Trespass being one of them. I'm going to play the last track, Stormchild, because this is an absolute banger. But Cutting Loose by Zero, High Upon Noon by White Spirit, Lady of Mars by Dark Star, and Chevy is actually, that's an okay song. I know, John, you mentioned that you like that song a lot. That's probably one of my least favourite off the Chevy album, which is a cool album. I like it, but a lot more sort of 70s sound to it. But this is a decent album. And if you've got Metal for Mothers 1, you find Volume 2. There's also a 12-inch, I've actually got it to hand here. If you track down those two, you should also, to complete the set, you need to find Mother's Pride as well, because this is more of an EP. If I do another New Wave British Heavy Metal stream, I'm probably going to play one of these songs in here as well. Maybe even the Wildfire song, because I do like a little bit of Wildfire. But that's a. If you've got Metal for Mothers, you need, to me, I had to have. Once I heard there was like a 2 and a kind of a third additional EP, I had to grab that one as well. But I'm going to play out today with some Trespass. So they didn't release an album. They had a couple of 7 inches out. They were they had appearances on a lot of a handful at least of compilation albums, but they just didn't get that deal, and so many bands kind of fell into that that category as well. In fact, we're going to hear the end of this is the Hard Lines by The Raid, the end of that track. Cheers, Jeff, good to see you. Here we go. Stormchild by Trespass. But will you have it by next week, John? That's the question. think that's the track off Metal from Others, the first one. Yeah, see ya, Geog. Yeah, fine. Good man. Slow burner, but gets going. This has more of a classic early 80s new wave of British heavy metal vibe for me. I don't know, I don't think you can sell bootlegs, can you? So my next stream, planning on it being in a couple of weeks, specifically in a couple of weeks, I think the 8th of March, which is that 2 weeks today? Yeah, is happens to be International Women's Day, and I thought that would be a good excuse to pull some all female bands, female fronted metal bands, and just have a set list of yeah, female vocals. And I'm not the most extensive collector of female metal bands. There are some great channels out there like Nathan Metal Down Under, who does who is a mine of information on these, but I've got a few that I enjoy, so I'm going to put together a track list of a good hour or so of music from female fronted bands that I enjoy, and that'll be a kind of across the board from metal and thrash and all sorts of stuff really. So I hope you're able to join me for that one in a couple of weeks. That's 8th of March, I think I'm going to do that. Such a cool song. You listen back to things like this now and you just wonder why some of these bands didn't get a deal. And I know the record companies had their pick by this time. Everybody wanted to jump on this bandwagon, and and only a certain number of bands actually made it be successful. But some of these compilations out there could just have releases from bands that only ever did 1 or 2 singles. Absolutely superb. Thoughts on Trespass? Okay, we're coming to the end now. Thanks to everybody who joined today. Been a great crowd. Love reading all the comments as usual. Been an absolute blast. As I say, I'll be back in a couple of weeks with a different sort of themed set list, and we'll listen to some metal together. We'll have some needle drops, obviously, to listen to the metal, and have a chat and hear what you guys have been getting up to as well. Oof, you know it makes sense. Good luck, John. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate that. Glad to see you here. Roger. Where have you gone, Roger? There we go. Brutal stream. I'm not sure. Not in terms of music, but appreciate it all the same. I'm glad you could make it, actually. Glad you got the day right this time. That's always a bonus. Still 3 beers ahead. Oh no, maybe you may be 4 ahead by now. Cheers, Mike. John. Keith, thank you, mate. And Jason. Yeah, good chat, everybody. Really appreciate it. Jürgen, Metal Chipper. I'm going to close it out there. Thanks all for watching, and I will catch you again very soon. Thanks all.